morning, everyone. I'm sorry to say there will be no level-headed league today. All there is today is at a loss league, because I am absolutely at a loss to make anything of yesterday's performance. Football is just such a difficult thing, right? Because we got done on the Wednesday, and yet by sort of Friday I'm buzzing, waiting to get back to the football, waiting to go to White Hart Lane, to see us play, to see and everything that's all around that. I travelled up with South Dorset Spurs yesterday. We took 2 buses. We're absolutely rammed. Was it a 17-seater and a 9-seater, and then another guy came with about 4 people in his car, and then we met some people in the Gilpin and so on, right? So there's a big, decent-sized crowd of us coming all the way up from Dorset, and a lot of these guys live further on than I do in Weymouth, and yet we turn up there with all that expectation and desire and hope and enthusiasm, and what you're served up with was dire dross. You just cannot explain it. Sorry, excuse me, still got my bit of a chest infection. It beggars belief that a team that had been doing so well, playing, improving, just turned into this team that just cannot string 2 passes together. I mean, Sanchez yesterday was all over the shop. I mean, he didn't know what he was doing. He was like Bambi on ice, skidding and falling, and I'm looking at him and thinking, what's going on? 3-4, well, not 3 or 4, but 5 or 6 games ago, people were saying how much improved this guy is, and yet he was absolutely appalling yesterday. You have to say it as you see it. Winks, what the hell is going on? The guy just cannot string 2 passes together, losing the ball every which way. The sideways and backward passing process as well and truly returned. You're just sitting there and you can see what's happening. You're watching the team and you can see what's happening. You can see him going, yeah, to to Doherty, back to Sanchez back to Hugo, pump up the field, can't kick for toffee, goes to their players, wave of attack again. And to be fair to Wolves, right? They scored their goals on mistakes from us. Hugo, what you doing? Davis, what you doing? 2 goals to give away to a team with the 2nd best defensive record in the league. You cannot do that. You cannot give away 2 goals to a team like Wolves and then expect to score 3. That's, it was just absolutely ridiculous, and it didn't matter what we did. I absolutely felt for Sessegnon doing the walk of shame round the pitch. I mean, to be fair to him, he got a big round of applause from all the fans all the way around, saying, this isn't your fault, blah blah blah. But the reality is, as difficult as it is to say, I'm sorry, Sess, but you're receiving the ball and then facing the wrong way all the time. And playing it back. Davis wasn't overlapping. What's the point? What's the point in that kind of play? You've got to take people on. You've got to push forwards. Crossing. How many crosses did we actually make yesterday? You know what? I won't be surprised if it was around 1 or 2. And that's being really sort of conservative. It looks ridiculous to me. I'm just looking at it thinking, you've got these wingers, wing backs, whatever you want to call it, that are supposed to be going forward. That's where your threat's supposed to be coming from, and yet there was absolutely no threat whatsoever. So you're like, well, I just don't get it, you know. It just made no sense to me whatsoever. So Wolves clearly had a game plan, right? They were very high up the pitch, very compact. They knew that we were coming from the side, so they just packed it out and were tight. It was calling out for, you know, some little dink balls over the top or some threaded balls for players to run onto. But even so, I mean, we did have a couple of chances. You know, Kane had a couple of chances. Son had a couple of chances. We should have done better for them. I mean, Lucas yesterday as well. He's another one who I really, you know, he's always normally so direct. He gets the ball, he turns and he runs at players. Yesterday, no, not so much. He was just running into traffic the whole time, you know, and it was just so lethargic and poor. You know, we start so slowly, and that is just a recipe for disaster. I mean, don't even get me started on Doherty. I mean, you know, I get it that people are not happy with Emerson as the right back, but when your replacement for Emerson is Doherty, you've got to look at yourself and go, that's not the answer. You know, that's not the answer. And I know, you know, you're not going to fix everything in one transfer window. I mean, Conte's pretty much said that, and he's calling for patience. And I guess to a certain extent, let's be honest, we build ourselves up and we prime ourselves and we think, well, you know, we get some good results, top fours on, other teams are dropping points, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is at the start of this season, you know, we didn't think we were going to get top four, and our performances don't warrant top four. Let's be absolutely honest. If we get top four, it'll be a travesty because, you know, it'll be because some other teams are even worse than we are, you know. But yeah, I think it's going to be a long, difficult bloody season this season, and you just hope that something clicks and something goes our way and we start to pull together some results. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, I haven't lost faith in Conte at all. You know, he's working with what he's got, you know, and the recruitment hasn't been great, you know, but he's brought in two players that he trusts, that he wants, and to be fair, Bentancur did look decent. You know, there was the thing I liked about him was he didn't shy away. He wanted the ball all the time, whatever position he was in, you know, and he was trying to direct it and he was trying to make things happen. But in that so compact, and when you've got Winks giving it away every 2 minutes, that makes your job even harder. And when Kulusevski came on as well, you know, I thought we did all right. I thought we had an okay performance when you mark it against all the others, you know, because nobody can come out of that game with any kind of pride. To be fair, it was really poor. I think the only bit of pride, I think, from a Wolves perspective was their fans. I thought their fans were fantastic yesterday. You know, their singing was really loud, really good, and they've been like that all the time. I called them out previously when we've had them at Wembley before and stuff like that. They are really good fans who really do support their team, and you know, as painful as it is as a Tottenham fan, you like to see teams that really do come and make an effort, you know, to get involved in the game. Not so much pride in the team. I think, you know, there's a few players in there, you know, really, and listen, I'm going to moan about it, but I guess it's the right thing to do. You know, there was a lot of shithousery going on yesterday from the Wolves players, lots of falling over and everything, and you know, the ref didn't really help it. A lot of time wasting going on and all that sort of stuff. But listen, you're 2-0 up. You know, you're 2-0 up away from home. You're going to want to win the game, right? So you can't really complain about it. You know, you can moan about it because you're on the receiving end, but you know, if your team was doing the same, you'd be applauding it and laughing about it and saying, you know, fair play. It's how it works. So yeah, just really interesting. And the final thing is clearly the Y word debate. I think Tottenham and the rest of the footballing community got their answer yesterday. Tottenham fans were in full voice of support of the word. We sing what we want. Yid Army and all that was in full voice yesterday. And to be honest with you, it seemed to be pretty much from everywhere. Didn't seem to be any kind of dissenting voices. But I don't know. I think that's one that's going to rumble on and on and on. You know, I don't think they'll ever be let go. Maybe it's just Tottenham's way of making their stance. You know, saying it's not our fault. You know, we've asked our fans if, you know, if they don't stop, we can't really stop them. And I think that's a fair comment, because, you know, how do you stop 60,000 people, you know, singing out from something that they feel very passionate about? So yeah, really interesting. So only a matter of City away for the next game. So how Spursy would it be for us to go up there and get a result, you know, which would be fantastic if we hadn't lost these last two. But yeah, difficult times. Can't be level-headed today. Really, really fed up, really upset. Left home at 10 to 8 in the morning, got home at 10 to 9 at night. Long old day, especially when you're not drinking because you're on antibiotics. Makes the day go even slower. But anyway, that's football. You know, we live for it, and in a couple of days we'll be getting ourselves up and starting to believe again. And as they say, it's the belief that kills you. But anyway, leave it there. Up the Spurs.